Hey, everybody. I am back. It is a Monday. Let me just get to you here real quick and get you to the main screen. Hey, everybody. How we doing? Happy Monday. I hope you all are well. And I hope you all had a wonderful Easter and celebrating it however you choose. I'm so, oh my gosh, we just had a lovely day of singing old, beautiful songs that I grew up with in the Catholic Church, and also into nature, into a park with some dear friends, and have an amazing day with them. Our friend Peter, who is doing fantastic. Thanks to some amazing doctors and all your prayers. So thank you all for that. And I'm pulling up the chat here as I'm just kind of dialing in so I can see you all. I miss you. Alrighty. Just a real quick update on me. No, I have not. I did not have COVID. I have just a quick update, folks. I have blood clots in my legs. Too much sitting. I used to be, as you know, a professional basketball player. I used to jump and land, and run and dive, and I did a lot of different crazy things over the years. So it might have something to do with my veins, might have something to do with my blood, but I'm getting there. My typical day is I wake up, I make some breakfast, make some coffee, and I go back to bed. And I'm pretty much working from bed just so I can kind of stay reclined. But I am getting up and getting out. I went to that park yesterday, so at any rate, thank you all for your prayers. Thanks for the Reiki. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for the purchases of our gear in the shop, the indoctrination.shop. And thank you for, I'm wearing these really therapeutic socks right now. Thank you, Gail, for turning me on to those. And different people are sending me different things. Some fermented ginseng I'm taking. I'm still taking my blood thinners. And I go see a doctor on the 15th. Hopefully sooner. Hopefully there's a cancellation. And I had acupuncture last week. So that's the update on me. Thank you all. And cheers, everybody. Cheers. So going forward, let's all check our coat down. Check our coat. And I just saw Facebook down. Yes, I'll get to that in a second. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is David Snedeker. This is the Indoctrination. You are here among, 858 people. This is the smallest crowd I've come into live in probably maybe a year. And we normally average around 28 to 33,000 live. And that has gone down significantly because I got 3 of my Facebook accounts terminated, no warning whatsoever. Todd got one of his Facebook accounts terminated. Cindy got hers. Christy got hers terminated. And by the way, we created new ones, but she created a new one, used her old email in letting somebody know how they could reach her in the chat. And as soon as they saw her email in the chat, they knew it was her, and that one was deleted. Okay. Beth Hill has had hers deleted. Eric Swanson has had his deleted, I believe. I haven't talked to Eric yet. Pretty much if you were, connected with the show in any way, shape, or form, folks, you were deleted, which is why you can now find me under, and I will show it to you. This is my new Facebook. Hold on. There it is. And it is Paul Michaels. And that's to Facebook, not to you folks. Okay? Some of you, maybe. That's just teasing. But I'm not. So here we are. So this is censorship at its finest, yeah? And I just need to make sure I'm breathing out, breathing in, and if I continue to do that, I should be fine. But that's definitely one of the problems that I've had is breathing. So I'm working on trying to be a more conscious breather. And so if you're new here, welcome. You're among 900 plus beautiful humans, 961 now, closing in on 1,000. And you are welcome here. We ask that you open your mind and be kind. And how we do that is we imagine that we're coming into a beautiful theater. We have this, huge winter coat on of the indoctrination of preconceived notions, unconscious biases that we have developed over the course of our lifetime. Our ego, we imagine in this big hooded winter coat, we're coming in out of the cold into this warm theater, and we take that off and we check the coat and we get a claim ticket. And you grab your snack, grab a drink, grab your favorite person, your favorite you. Cheers, and come on in. And let's download some information and connect with other like-minded humans and with a shred of common sense. Because, folks, you know this. You can see this. Yes, please share this out, folks. I'm going to keep it short. I know famous last words, but I am limited with my health. But I want to say this, that we are being silenced. Those with common sense, those that are challenging the narrative, are being silenced in this world right now. And it is so important for us to understand that if you have just a little bit of common sense, that you're going to see through this facade, this show that is being played out before us. Even if you don't see that it's a show being scripted primarily by the white hats. If you don't see that, that's fine. Because really, all that's important is that people are able to see the absurdity of what is happening around us and realizing who's responsible for those absurdities. Okay. So let's see. You have opened my eyes tremendously to the Q posts and deltas. It's incredible how they line up, isn't it? Matt, I can't read your thing, man, but thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad. And folks, here's the thing. If you come away from sitting down with me with anything, all I ask is that you think for yourself. If you go to the Q posts and you follow the deltas and you follow some of these drops and some of the timestamps and how they connect, and you don't come away thinking, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable. This is how did they do this? How did they communicate this?" And if you don't come away with that, that's fine. But you dug into it and you looked for it. But I promise you that if you dive into the Q drops, like the 17 drops, damn it, like we ask you to, with your own mind and your own thinking and your own critical thinking skills, I believe that you're going to find out that this is something really spectacular, that we're being exposed to the greatest information drop in the history of humanity. Okay? But certainly, at the very least, if you're not into 17 and you're just trying to find answers, I will say this, that most of the things that we're experiencing right now have been predicted by 17. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Let me take you here. Let me see here. Here we go. Okay. Let me take you to, if you guys follow me on Twitter, okay? I'm at Dave Snedeker on Twitter, at Dave Snedeker. As a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me just add this so that you can see, because the reason I want to put this down there is because at Dave Snedeker, I want you to follow me on Twitter, because I'm going back there for a great deal of information. There's still a great deal of information on Twitter, even though I left it for a little bit. Yes, thank you, Dixie. Thank you, Christy. Please share this out. Barb, thank you, all who are sharing this out, especially on Facebook, because they've shut us down, and there's a reason for it, okay? And if you share it out to people and say, Facebook closed down eight of our accounts of the team of this Truthcast. They took down 8 of our accounts all on Friday, all without warning, okay? And this was done and predicted by 17 by the CIA, okay? Now, I'm not going to pretend that David Snedeker is a target by the CIA or by these huge entities. But I'll tell you what, if I'm not a target, man, are they good at spraying bullets, at spraying what do you call it, virtual bullets, because between my technology being shut down, I tried to get up today and I had problems. That's why I was a little late. Just crazy stuff, like stuff that shouldn't happen. Like, this isn't plugged in. Yes, it is. It's plugged in. Let me plug it again. Let me plug it in again. It's not even a loose connection. Things like that. And then the Facebook, getting knocked off Facebook. YouTube, we're one strike away from our second channel being terminated. Twitch, folks, they're all doing it. And it's so important for us to fight back by sharing this out. Get comfortable with Twitch. Get comfortable with DLive. Get comfortable with jumping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, okay? Let me pull this up. This is, I want to share with you here. Let me see. All right. See, that's another example. Okay. Have no idea what's wrong with my speaker coming out of my brand new computer. But that's not going to work. So I have to plug in my headset. Okay? Meanwhile, hold on a second. I mean, and it may be just as bad coming out of there. I don't even know, but I'll find out very soon. And I want to take you to this is Andy. No, I'm going to play Laura Ingraham. Ingraham. I can never say her name. There we go. That should not be coming out of there. Yeah, see, it's stuff like this. I mean, this is basic stuff, folks, like live streaming. This is like a Zoom, basically, technology, which so many companies have. And this is absolutely absurd that I'm having this kind of difficulty. So let me do this. Let me just take you to the hell with Fox News, okay? They're part of the problem. Let me take you to Andy and hear it from him directly on Twitter, okay? This is Andy, who, excuse me, I believe is Vietnamese American. And he has exposed Antifa. Now, Andy was the one that was, I believe he was beaten. He was absolutely assaulted. And so now, because they were doxing him, he doxed Antifa members. Okay. And it's Unmasking Antifa. Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy is out now. Order wherever books are sold. Folks, let's support this guy, yeah? Andy, NGO, on Twitter. I think he's doing very well because I'll show you him. He's got 802,000 followers. So I will say this, that if you have 802,000 followers on 801,000 followers on Twitter, that you are able to monetize that quite well, probably. So he's probably doing okay. I'm sorry, I've got the show on there. This is one of the problems that I haven't, one of the hurdles I haven't been able to get over. And let me get back in the picture there with you and get back to Andy. See this, now this is doing this again. This is unbelievable, folks. I can't even tell you. This is jumping monitors. So Andy is leaving the country. Okay, all right. Why? Why is he leaving the country? Because it's not safe for him anymore. Okay. Amid threats of violence and an escalation of safety concerns. He might be the most hated man in the room, depending on where he goes, but Andy Ngo has undoubtedly amassed a tremendous following for his experience covering the ins and outs of Antifa. The born and raised Portlander, which is a shame, by the way, okay, because this is a man who was born and raised in Portland, and he's watching his city be destroyed. No matter what you think about Portland, folks, it's not what it used to be, and that's a problem. Second generation Vietnamese American, a conservative journalist who serves as the editor-at-large of the Post-Millennial, is now a New York Times bestselling author thanks to his recently published tome, Unmasked, Inside Antifa's Radical Plan to Destroy Democracy. In Unmasked, he explores not only the history of Antifa, both in and outside the United States, but also his own experiences covering what he describes as an organized community of radical left-wing anarchists. Okay? Opponents tried to stop the book from being published. Portland's famed shop Powell's Books opted not to sell the work after union employees protested him and everything he represents. All he's doing is exposing the things that Antifa is doing. Okay? Now, I want to take you somewhere else. I want to take you to 17. Okay? And I want to take you to Antifa. Okay? And let's search on Antifa. Let me make sure I got you where I want you. Yep. Okay. Antifa, and we're searching Antifa. So you see all the bold red. Now you know I'm on qalerts.app, okay? Which, by the way, you can't even share this app. You can't share this website inside the chat, please. Don't share it inside Facebook. Don't share it anywhere. You have to be stealth about how you share it because they'll pick it up right away. Facebook won't even let you share this URL. Okay, but let me. So you see, what 17 is talking about. Add it all up: virus, riots, organized, Antifa, fires. The why. Make no mistake, they will not concede on election night. They will contest this legally in battleground states. They will project doubt in the election result. They will project doubt in the election results, unless, of course, they stole it, which they did. They will organize massive riots and attempt Anarchy 99 design playbook known. But let's scroll down and look how many times. Look at the anti-fascist group from 1933 Germany. Okay, we've shown that multiple times on post 940, and the similarities to the 2017 Antifa. Okay, but scrolling down further, look how many mentions of Antifa, but also look how early. Look how early. All Antifa, all Antifa, all Antifa. Okay, look at all these. Mention the flags again. Okay, look at all the mentions of Antifa. Okay, look at this all the way back to post 12. Before 17 even started dropping that letter, 17 was anonymous. Military intelligence referenced above is the absolute biggest inside drop this board will ever receive. Now think about why Antifa plays right into the plan. Always ahead. Good guys are winning. October 30th, 2017. That's how soon 17 knew Antifa was going to be a key player in all this. Okay? Now, they're also saying that Trump has had military intelligence infiltrate Antifa and all the dissenting local governments. Always 5 steps ahead. Please be true. That was an anon communicating back to 17, and 17 said, well done, picture being painted. Picture being painted. Okay? How many references have we seen, okay, of Scavino? Let me pull that up. Let me find it here. Where's the picture? Where's the picture? Where's the picture being painted? And I think he might, here it is. Here's the picture being painted, folks. Okay, picture being painted. Scavino with this painter. Speaking of painters, guys, I've got to show you what Kevin sent me. Pretty darn cool. And I left it in the house, but I'll see if my daughter can bring it. But this is the picture being painted. Yeah? That Scavino keeps dropping. And one thing about the painter, okay, is that the painter is in control of how this is going to flesh out, how the picture is going to actually flesh out. So let's make sure that we're keeping our eyes on the whole picture. Yeah, let's not get too caught up in the little things that are, throwing us off, right? Even though they're big things. Okay. Now, I also want to talk about something. Yeah. So let me talk about this. Okay. By the way, Jordan Sather is getting censored on Gab with 17 content. I just saw that before I got on. So I know everyone's saying get on Gab, get on this, get on that. I'm okay. I wasn't gonna say anything about this, but I'm gonna make an announcement tonight. Because I'll tell you this, if you're here, you're in the 1,500 that are here. You are my diehards that even though I don't pop up on Facebook, you're going to find me. So I appreciate that. And I'm going to share something with you that I find to be very, very big news. Many years ago, I reached out and on Craigslist, I put out an ad, and I knew I was going to do this, and I asked for somebody that could build a social network platform because I saw this happening. I saw censorship happening because I knew the mainstream media was going to lose control of the narrative, and I knew that they were going to have to take control over big tech, and that the reason that was going to be so easy to happen is I already knew that they controlled big tech. I had already, this was, I think I'll have to ask my friend, but I think it was at least 8 years ago that I reached out to him, and I knew that, that CIA founded Google. I knew that they financed them. I knew that they financed Rothschilds, Greenberg, Zuck, Facebook. I knew Twitter, SA, Saudi Arabia. So a lot of these things I knew, and so I reached out to him about, asked for somebody that could build one. He got back to me. This gentleman, you're going to get to know. He's a dear friend of mine. So we started. He lived about an hour and a half away from me, and I used to drive up. And he had already built this thing, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to launch it because it has to be protected because it's a whole new technology. I am going to launch this technology on this platform with my friend and share it out to the truth community. And it is going to be the best platform for you and I to communicate on. They won't be able to censor us. We'll have our own servers. And I am putting that together as we speak. And I believe we will be 90 days away from this. And I'm going to talk to you more about that and how you can be a part of that. But I wanted to give you the good news because here's the thing. It doesn't matter who comes out, whether Mike Lindell, Trump, whatever. When we launch our platform, everybody will flock to it once they use it once because it is the easiest. Everybody else is operating off a broken paradigm. The internet is a broken paradigm. But my dear friend has figured out how to completely reverse engineer that paradigm into a usable technology. And I will tell you this. If you want to sell on eBay, you got to learn eBay. Hours and hours and hours. You got to learn how to do this, where the buttons are and all that. Then you want to sell on Amazon, you got to go learn that. And you're going to need a password for both. You want to learn another site, you got to learn that site. Another site that you got 50 passwords, 50 sites, and each one, you got to remember how to do each one because of the controls. This is completely different. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to change the world. Because the reason why we became so close is because we spent so much time together, and we even did a few shows like this together back in the day at his place. And so you're going to hear more about that, but I wanted to share that with you because it is going to be, I mean, really, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Thank you guys. Thank you for that. We spent, like, don't get me wrong. I haven't written one line of code. Okay. He has done all of it. He's a genius. He's figured this all out. I'm just the guy that's going to bring it to you and to the world, and we're going to work together to make that happen. And so it's we worked on it for years in terms of figuring out how we're going to get to the next level. And he's ready. The world is ready, and we're getting after it. We're getting after it. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So I wanted to share that with you. And it's yeah, it's time. So so the reason why I wanted to bring up that Antifa is that, Andy just today announced, was it yesterday? No, it was today, that he's got to leave the country because of Antifa. Now, if 17 was further along, I would like to think that Andy wouldn't have to leave. But I've got to say that I think that Andy is going to, I think he's making a great move, and I think he needs to stay safe. And he'll be back into a world that he helped create. So, Andy, my hat's off to you for all the incredible work you do, and and cheers to you and all the incredible lives you've changed with the work that you do. And my hat's off to 17 for calling out Antifa in October of 2017. And predicting riots and predicting the level of destruction that they would be a part. D, SnedNet. Yeah, I love it. Let's see. Andy No. Andy No is who we were talking about. And that's this guy here. Andy was assaulted, trying to videotape some destruction being done by Antifa, and he has gone right back at them and exposed them. Yeah. So here's an example. Here's him reporting. Let me take you back there. Hold on one sec. An Asian woman was fatally stabbed while walking her dogs in Riverside, California. The suspect in the stabbing attack had been arrested and quickly released just a few days prior for assault with a deadly weapon. He'd just been arrested and released just a few days prior for assault with a deadly weapon, and a woman gets stabbed. Folks, this is why you don't rely on police to protect you. That's not police's job, okay? Police's job is to find the person that committed the crime. Certainly in some situations where they're there in a preventative situation, they can certainly, keep people from doing something that they would normally not have a problem doing if the police weren't there. But this is about the police aren't there right here when this woman is being chased by this man, and then she stabs him. That's when this woman needed a conceal carry permit, or a state like Iowa who has said, you know what, we're not gonna require a permit to conceal carry. Okay, And so, hold on. So this woman, if she had a gun, she could turn around, pull the gun, point it at this man, she would still be alive. That is the Second Amendment. Okay? And if you're a woman, please tell me how that a firearm is a great equalizer. It is the greatest equalizer that has ever been created. Because I'm 6'9", 250 pounds. Okay? And somebody my size could do a lot of damage on other people unless you have a gun. And then guess what? I might as well be, 5 foot tall, 160. I can't hurt anybody because you've just equalized me with one weapon that you've bought, you've learned how to use, and you use, safely, and certainly bring it out and use when you're in danger. So, this is our police, first of all, not doing their job, keeping a violent criminal in jail or in prison, and then, of course, not there when this man goes walking around in a community and hurts this woman. Okay, so let me see. I want to show you a couple more things here, guys, and then I want to get to the chat and talk with you here a little bit. Let me find this. Okay, so Clarence Thomas. Okay, this is. Hold on a second. Okay. So, interesting perspective. Christy dropped two different perspectives here for me. Supreme Court dismisses Trump Twitter case as moot as Thomas highlights glaring concern of platform's power. Okay? Then, let's look at this. How the liberals see it, CNN Politics. Justice Clarence Thomas suggests U.S. should regulate Facebook, Google, and Twitter. Okay. Here is a conservative headline and also a common sense headline, because once we get into it, you'll see why. This is CNN. Okay. Where they're trying to suggest that our government is getting in the way by regulating private businesses. Justice Clarence Thomas suggested on Monday that Congress should consider whether laws should be updated to better regulate social media platforms that, he said, have come to have unbridled control over unprecedented amounts of speech. Do you mean, Clarence Thomas, like, for example, somebody who is loving, is nonviolent, who is fact checks, like not in a way that others fact check, because we do real fact checking and differentiate between what's fact and what's speculation, and have a show in front of thousands every night and have reached millions? And are you talking about somebody like me, who on Friday, I happen to be, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe even having breakfast when I get a call that all three of my platforms are down on Facebook? Because if that's what you're talking about, and people like me on YouTube and on Twitter and on, on Facebook and on all these social media platforms, and the Parler that was taken down by Amazon, if that's what you're talking about, yes, these platforms have unbridled control and unprecedented amounts of free speech. Which, by the way, is why I tracked down Logan and got back into connection with him so that we could build this platform together and launch this platform together and destroy these companies. What have I told you? I have told you for years that Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter are going to be like an old, broken down, rusted out gas station on the side of the road on the way to Vegas. And I'm telling you, there's going to be graffiti. The signs are going to be rusted out. They're going to be dangling with in the wind. There are going to be what do you call those things? The tumbleweeds rolling by. The windows are boarded up. Some of them are broken out that aren't boarded up. There's grass growing out of the concrete. I want you to imagine this picture and imagine Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter, and those signs rusted out. Because that's what's going to happen. Because guess what? None of those guys, none of their coders, none of their developers, none of their fucking fact checkers can touch what my friend is capable of doing and has already created. Okay? So there you go. And so you're going to go down. So Thomas's stance will raise concerns from critics who point out that social media platforms have not historically been subject to such content regulation, but instead have been left to devise their policies on their own. Folks, whenever the left, the liberal, out of control left, Mockingbird Media, mentions historically, it's for their benefit. They don't mention historically when it's not in their best interest. Like, for example, historically, the Democrats have voted against rights for Black Americans. Historically, the Democrats created the KKK. Historically, the Democrats voted against a black person's right to vote. Okay? Do you get the picture? So they only use historically when it works to their benefit. Okay? Justice Thomas's opinion represents the first time that we've seen a Supreme Court justice appear to endorse the view increasingly prevalent among conservatives that private social media platforms should potentially be subject to significant government regulation, notwithstanding the First Amendment. Said Steve Vladeck, CNN Supreme Court analyst and a professor at the University of Texas School of Law. So he's a professor, which is, you're not living in a real world if you're a professor, folks. I'm telling you right now. There's no greater socialism paradigm than a professor at a university. Okay, you can't be fired once you reach tenure. You work in ridiculously few hours. You've got people that do your work for you. Guys, it's, and then you're able to take side jobs with people like CNN because you push forward this agenda. Chances are CIA. So, no other justice joined Thomas's opinion that came as he agreed with the court's decision to dismiss a case concerning Trump's use of Twitter while he was president. Thomas said the court was right to dismiss the case. So the whole court dismissed, okay, because their Twitter banned Trump. So it made it moot, okay? So this is a left platform, okay? Now listen to the right. The Supreme Court on Monday deemed by the way, this is the opposite end of the controlled narrative. This is the opposite end of the controlled narrative. I do not praise Fox on this channel. You know that. Okay? I have warned you about Fox for years. So let's get into this in a minute. The Supreme Court on Monday deemed former President Trump's appeal of a ruling that said it was unconstitutional for him to block critics moot after a lower court considered his page to be a protected public forum. The court called for the case to be dismissed as Trump is no longer in office and Twitter has blocked him from the platform. Thomas agreed with the decision in light of Trump no longer being president. But the conservative jurist illustrated the complexity of the matter, given that Trump ultimately did not have full control over his account. Very, very important point, right? Because if they're criticizing Trump's use of his account, they obviously have control over it because they had already canceled his account. Cheers, everybody. It seems rather odd to say that something is a government form when a private company has unrestricted authority to do away with it, Thomas wrote in a concurring opinion. Okay. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals had ruled against Trump, claiming that as president he used his Twitter account to discuss political matters, and therefore the interactive participation of commenting on his tweets was considered a public forum protected by the First Amendment. Blocking those who criticized him, therefore, was unconstitutional viewpoint discrimination, they had ruled. But the Second Circuit Court doesn't understand that, but it's intentional because they're controlled, okay? Doesn't understand that you can't call it, you can't protect the First Amendment right of somebody criticizing Trump, but then allow Twitter to stop Trump from even making a comment because they disagree with his words. You can't have it on both sides, okay? Thomas noted that while Trump had the power to block other users, Twitter was then able to block all Twitter users from interacting with his messages by banning his account altogether, okay? So because unbridled control of the account resided in the hands of a private party, First Amendment doctrine may not have applied to respondents' complaints of stifled speech, Thomas pointed out, stating that whether governmental use of private space implicates the First Amendment often depends on the government's control over that space. Thomas acknowledged how modern technology is not always easy addressed by the existing legal doctrines, and warned the Supreme Court will soon have no choice but to address how our legal doctrines apply to highly concentrated privately owned information infrastructure such as digital platforms. But folks, here's the great news. I don't need our Supreme Court to do something about this. Okay? I don't need Biden to do anything about this, or even Trump, okay? Because this is a capitalist system. Trump is moving forward with plans to start a social media platform. Okay, Lindell is moving forward with a social media platform, as per my buddy Tony, and I am. Okay, so guess what? Those guys are going to be gone, and it's not going to be because the government said so. It's going to be because they were taken out by a better system. And that's what we're bringing to the table, okay? So, so we've got that going for us, okay? Now, I want to do a couple more things here with you. Todd has not been feeling well, folks. He's got a bad tooth he's dealing with, and he's not been well, but he's still working, still taking care of his brother. So he and Cindy may or may not come on tonight. But just prayers out for Todd, and if they don't come on, we'll have them on tomorrow night, and we got a lot to cover. Okay, yeah, and I believe the Supreme Court is absolutely compromised. Okay, let's see. Please notify me I missed you tonight. Please, if possible, thanks. Pick up at 10:30. Yeah, so guys, double check. Please go on your YouTube. Double check that you're subscribed, and that you are get notified. Okay, because we could be down at any time on Facebook. We could be down on YouTube at any time. And I also want to bring you to this. This is our backup channel. I want to leave the link right there now. If you have not signed up for this backup channel with notifications, please do so. Please do so immediately, okay? Because we are going, if we get one more strike, we won't be on YouTube under Dave Sned. So please go to this one. There's 1.6 thousand subscribers now almost, and there's really not much content there. Just my interview with Kirsten W. and one other, but we will go live there if we get shut down off our other YouTube. Okay, so please go there. And make sure that you just subscribe and hit the notification, okay? Because I'm about to blow up everything, folks. I'm about to blow up everything because I'm not going to be silenced. And if this is the way they're going to play, well, here we go. All right. Okay, so I want to talk about, I want to talk about the connection. I think there might be a connection here, and I want you to dig a little bit deeper. This is a connection that Christie came up with, and capital attack suspect identified as Louis Farrakhan follower Noah Green. Okay. And so that was on Good Friday, right? That a Muslim killed a Capitol police officer and charged the barricade. Okay. Now, this is, I believe this is mind control in action. I believe that this was staged. There was a reason why this happened. And Officer Billy Williams was killed. And this is how they do it. Okay. This is how they do it. All right. And it's called MK Ultra. It's declassified. And this is why, remember, I showed you the following, okay? The list of satanic holidays, right? We went over these. Hold on, that's not the one I want. Here we go. I think this is it. Here it is. Okay, so this is my go-to here, theopenscroll.com, and you'll see that on... this is, hold on. Okay, so March, the Good Friday, the day of Passion, is the death of Christ. Okay, blood, human sacrifice, male only, adult. Okay, so I told you about this earlier in the week, to be careful on these days. Good Friday, Easter Eve, and day. Easter Eve day. Okay, Easter Eve day. Both blood sacrifices, both human sacrifices, meaning they would kill a human. Male only adult, male or female adult. This man, Noah X, a Farrakhan follower, an anti-government. Remember, he attacked the government that supposedly Biden and Harris are in control of now. Okay, that was the government he attacked. Okay, um, and uh, and basically, Nation of Islam leader said Jesus was not the Messiah. This was Farrakhan, and called Christian theology a lie. All right. And that was a speech by Farrakhan that he shared on YouTube, that this young man shared on YouTube. Okay. He killed Officer William Billy Evans. Okay. This is a human sacrifice on Good Friday. Male only, adult, one male only. This is a sacrifice. Okay. It happened, folks, in the Capitol, which is full of satanic imagery. Okay? They literally, this man was killed upon the altar of Moloch. Okay? I always spell Moloch wrong. How the hell do you spell Moloch? I'm glad I can't spell it. I think it's O-C-H? Moloch. Okay. Here we go. Images. All right, here we go. So folks, this is the Capitol, right? I've showed you this multiple times. This is the owl. This is the owl, which is symbolic of Moloch, the satanic deity that they sacrifice people to on the altar. Okay, of the owl. Okay, this is the Bohemian Grove owl. Now, folks, I've shown you this before. When it comes to David Snedeker and the indoctrination, this is old news. But what's important to understand was I told you over a week ago that there might be a sacrifice on this particular day. And look, they sacrifice on the altar of the owl god, the owl deity. Okay, here's a different look at it. Here's a sideways view of it. Okay, look at the ears, the eyes, the body, okay, and the legs and feathers. Okay, if you didn't know this, owls have long legs. They're just covered up by the feathers. And here's the tail, even. Folks, this is the Capitol reflecting pool, okay? I don't know exactly where the location was, but it was the Capitol barricade. And there's satanic symbolism all over the Capitol, okay? So that's what's important to understand about what's happening right now. Now, you might say, you hear me say the Patriots are in control, right? Yes, they are. The Patriots are in control, okay? But do they control every MK Ultra mind-controlled stooge out there that has been controlled to pull the trigger on somebody or kill somebody, okay? No, they don't have control over all those. And especially how are they going to protect every single male? Okay, how are they going to protect every single male in the world that could be sacrificed? They can't. They just can't, right? Okay. By the way, Farrakhan also. This is a couple days old, but it's important to show here. Okay, let me just show you this. Hold on, let me see if I can get this audio squared away here. Let me check my output here. Okay. And unmute that. Okay. All right, let me try this. I'm not hearing this. Are you hearing this? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Christy. I hit the mute button so that you guys wouldn't hear the garbled mess that was coming out of the speaker. I should have put my hat over it. My apologies. What I was telling you about this gentleman, what he's saying is that he's basically saying if you force this shot on us, this jab, this is a declaration of war. Now, this is the same Twitter that Thomas was just critical of, but also said it was right to change this or to make this moot because Twitter is allowing things like this, but they're completely deleting President Trump's amazing account, like 88 million followers and amazing tweets, pissed a lot of people off, put them on separate ends of the spectrum, but very effective in communicating to the people because of the fake news. And here they're not taking this cat down, and he's declaring war on basically the government and pharma for pushing the jab on Black America and the Nation of Islam. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So that's kind of how Twitter, if you will, kind of comes around full circle in this show, in the sense that this will not stand with conservative views, okay, but it will stand with the views of somebody like that, okay. Now the other thing to keep in mind here too is that what was very odd was that, well, I wanted to do this. Hold on. Oh, that's another thing. This was interesting from the World Military News on Sunday. Okay, or this was Monday actually. But the story ran actually on Sunday. Once secret unit within Guantanamo Bay closed, prisoners moved to another facility. Okay, the military has reportedly long declined to recognize Camp 7's presence on the base. Excuse me, and has never permitted journalists to tour the site. Officials said the unit, which was never intended to be permanent, had structural problems and needed to be replaced, but the Pentagon decided not to pursue funding for the project, according to reports. The U.S. military announced Sunday that the once secret unit called Camp 7 inside of Guantanamo has been closed and inmates transferred to another facility on the American base in Cuba. Okay. In an attempt to increase operational efficiency and effectiveness, the prisoners at Camp 7 were moved to Camp 5, a facility adjacent to where the other inmates on the base are housed, according to a statement from Miami-based U.S. Southern Command. The prisoners from Camp 7 were transferred safely and without incident, according to Southern Command, but it did not specify when the transfer took place. Camp 5, which was mostly vacant, is adjacent to Camp 6, which reportedly houses the remaining detainees. This will allow 40 Guantanamo prisoners to be contained in just 2 facilities. Okay? This fiscally responsible decision will reduce the detention facility's footprint and will eliminate maintenance requirements and costs incurred by Camp 7, the statement continued. According to Associated Press report, officials previously stated that approximately 14 men were held in Camp 7. Okay, now, this is interesting, okay? First of all, it seems like an odd article, right? Not a big deal. They're moving them from one place to another, okay? But notice they mentioned 765, which sounds like a countdown, okay? And then 4 is April 4th. The day before this was the 3rd, April 3rd, 21. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this is the first day after that. I don't know if there's any significance there. They're talking about 14 men that were there, okay? And the other thing, too, is that we know that President Trump made a huge investment into Gitmo, okay? And we've seen 115 million. Let's see. 200 million in new construction teed up for Guantanamo. $200 million. Okay? It doesn't seem to me that they would be moving them because of disrepair of one of the facilities. Okay? It is new barracks, and it's 15 high-level detainees at Guantanamo called Camp 7. Okay? And this is from 2018, by the way. A dive into the documents that underpin the spending bill that President Donald Trump signed Friday, declaring nobody read it, it's only hours old. Some people don't even know what's in it. Indicates Congress did not fund a new $69 million prison for the 15 high-value detainees at Guantanamo called Camp 7. It does, however, devote $66 million to a 150-prisoner jail with campus at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State for troops and airmen accused of crimes. For troops and airmen accused of crimes. It also serves as a study in contrasts of the cost of doing business at the remote base behind a minefield in southeast Cuba, where both labor and supplies must arrive by barge and airlift to undertake new construction. Okay. So New barracks, not for Camp 7. So maybe, that is a factor, but just very odd that they mentioned the 14 Muslim prisoners, the Muslim attack on the Capitol on Good Friday. As we've seen, by the way, we've seen we don't know. I don't know if Billy Evans, but we've seen Islam being the impetus for attacks on Christians and Jews on their holidays. And so we've seen that back and forth before. So I just wanted to bring that to light. And let me bring you back to May, and then I want to take you to President Trump's statement here in a second. Oh, by the way, there were two parts of that Farrakhan video. One is the threatening nature of saying this is war. We will go to war with you. Okay, that was one statement of violence. What about the statement of the anti-jab that is being made? And I've been censored off YouTube and off Facebook for medical misinformation by saying that this should not be forced. That's exactly what he's saying, except he's not being taken out. Why isn't he being censored like I am? Why aren't those folks being censored like I am? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Let me take you to President Trump's statement. Christy, would you mind dropping that for me, please, in email? Folks, some of my, I know many of you have reached out to friend me on Facebook, to friend Paul Michaels. Thank you for that. I haven't gotten to all of them, but I'm going through them pretty quickly. And I just want to let you know that our communication system is a little bit down from a standpoint of how we were running the show. So we're just getting back to how to best handle that. And I want to take you to President Trump's statement. Cindy, or Cindy, you can too, or Christy, if you can drop that. President Trump's statement, brief statement. And let me see. Let me get to the chat here for a moment, just see how you guys are doing. Make sure my mic is on. Kim, I couldn't find you. Is the pic of the F finger? Yes, Kim, that's me, Paul Michaels. So that was my my middle name is Michael, and my confirmation name was Paul. So that I brought that up as my pen name like many years ago. So that's why I went with that. Yeah, the reason why this Operation Mind Control book is so expensive is because it was written by my friend Walter Boart. He was the one that was trying to get me to direct a movie that he wrote called Bobby's Rights. And he wrote this in the mid-'70s, and he was the first one to ever deprogram an MK Ultra assassin, because he did what do you call it, hypnotherapy. And a friend said, hey, my wife goes on these business trips and she can't remember whole parts of her trip, like what she did, where she went. Do you think you could help her with your hypnotherapy? And he said, yeah, let's give it a try. And then he basically got her under hypnosis, and she started going into all these amazing, intricate details of, I went here, I had this, there was a gun there, that I was able to unlock this locker and get the gun out and take that gun and shoot this person at a cafe from across the street and get on the bus and get out of there or whatever. And then he went to the microfiche, this was the mid 70s, and saw these places that she would mention that she traveled to and the assassinations that followed her. And he said it was so surreal, like having that realization in the library, looking up the microfiche of those events, and having in his notebook the dates she traveled, the stories she told, and lining those up with the Australia, in Perth, this person was assassinated by, we don't know the person's, it was crazy. So that's why. And so they're trying to keep it out of your hands by, making it in short supply. They bought him out and then threatened the publisher when he first came out with this. Okay. This is major stuff. So let me talk about this. Dee Moore asks, "Will you touch on 10 Days of Darkness?" Okay, let me get to that in a second, Dee. Audio check. We good? Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. So much to talk about. But I got to keep it short tonight, guys. Dude MF, yeah. I should republish it. That's not a bad idea. Walter's gone, but I need to find his daughter, Walter Board's daughter, and maybe, yeah, I'll figure that out. That's not a bad idea. Maybe once we get the platform up and running, that'll be good. So just don't touch the mic. Okay, thank you. All right, I'll check that. So, awesome. Thank you, Christy. Okay, so here we are. Let me pull this up for you. This is a statement by Donald John Trump on April 2nd, 2021. Save America, President Donald J. Trump. April 2nd, 2021. 45th President of the United States of America. Why is it that every time the 2020 election fraud is discussed, the fake news media consistently states that such charges are baseless? By the way, this isn't the one I'm looking for. I don't think, is it? Yeah, no, it's a shorter one, and I think it was this weekend. The fake news media consistently states that such charges are baseless, unfounded, unwarranted, etc. Sadly, there was massive fraud in the 2020 presidential election, and many very angry people understand that. With each passing day, and unfortunately for the radical left crazies, more and more facts are coming out. Other than that, happy Easter. All right, so I just wanted to take a gematria on that. Okay. And I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to do it live with you here. Okay. And we go to gematrix.org for that. Okay. Now, what I need to do here is basically all of the capital letters. Now, Christy, see if you got another one, please, because I think there was a shorter one that I had in mind. And if you guys have that, let me know. Hold on. Well, let's do this one anyway. Okay. And where is it? Where did it go? Right here? No, that's not it. Oh, by the way, guys, from a standpoint of theindoctrination.com. You know what time I go live. I may do 5 nights this week, maybe more if I keep it short. And you can click on live here, theindoctrination.com/live, and you can see me live right now. Okay. And you can also hear the problems I'm having with that audio. That's crazy. All right. And, there I am. There I is. Okay. Wait a minute. That's not from today because I'm sitting up to the mic, right? That's not today's. What's going on with that? All right. I got to fix that problem. Okay. Okay. I don't know what show that is. So, never mind. If you'd like to donate, there's a button there. If you'd like to support this broadcast, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, cash or check. And I'm going to show you something here. If you want to go to the market, Purium, I have a Purium shake every single morning, and which gives me all my vitamins and nutrients from it's like 5 servings of fruits and vegetables. It's pretty phenomenal. That's definitely helping me. The Healy is definitely helping me. It's helping Todd and Cindy and Todd's brother. You can look into that. The La Vita Bella Olive Oil Company, fantastic. I just used their olive oil and garlic flavor, fantastic flavors. Julie Harris's soap, fantastic. Good stuff, doesn't dry you out. Saint Solutions, Jasmine Silver Water, and Jim. This is stuff that I take every single day. Okay. Marcia Canestrano, Shotke, Soul Coach. Dr. Paula McDonald, fantastic book about God and God's purpose in your life, and it's fantastic. Dismay Coin, great patriots that are having difficulty because they're being censored so much right now. So that, folks, is my commercial for to support this broadcast. If you go into the shop, theindoctrination.shop, you can see the t-shirts. Here's the gray, white, and black, and it looks like Rob's put a truth cast up there. Look at the hoodies. We now have the hoodie in gray, Heather Gray. This is Amy's Amazing Life for All Dream Builder Coaching. She's going to start that next Wednesday, that class. For those of you who want to join, you can sign up also for a complimentary strategy session between now and next Wednesday to kind of see what it's about. She'll always offer that, but only for those that are thinking about maybe starting next Wednesday. Please let her know about that. And we have the headgear, folks. We got the hats out. Look at this. This is more like a skateboarding cap. It's kind of a short brim. Okay. Fantastic lid there. Okay. You can put your ponytail through there, ladies. All right. And also, let me take you to this. This is a retro trucker hat. Okay. Which is cool. All right. This is like an old school hat here. All different colors. Look at that. The Indoctrination. Fantastic. There's a dark blue in there. Okay. And then there's the Snedhead Army camo hat. Look at that, folks. Snedhead Army camo hat. Fantastic. It's cool. Getting hot out, so you're gonna have that cool back in there. Not get your head overheated. And this looks like a short brim as well, which are really kind of cool. They're the hipper of the two, I believe. But go old school or go hip, whatever you want. But that's so please check that out at the Indoctrination shop, folks. That's how we support this broadcast. And I thank you for all of your support. And I want to share something with you that I think is just really spectacular. And this came just a few days after my birthday, and I wasn't able to get it because I haven't been out of the house, so I didn't even the get to my box, right? And so I just got it this weekend, and this is from Kevin Willert, and you guys have seen this at the beginning of the show, and you've seen it when he first did it and shared it with us. That's Kevin Willert, and yeah, so he sent it to me. Look at this cool frame too. Like, I think he made the frame. I haven't talked to him yet, but well done, Kevin. Thank you so much for this. Very, very cool, and very much appreciated. So that's going to go up here. It won't be on camera, right? Because it's like really like I'm gonna have it right beside me. You know, like, hey, look at me. How awesome am I? And I'll probably put it close to the floor somewhere just to keep the rats away. You know, it could work as for my enjoyment and also for the enjoyment of keeping vermin out of the studio. I think So, no, I'm not making a statement, negative statement about the portrait itself, but the person the portrait is of. Cheers, everybody. All right, and by the way, thank you for the get well cards. I want to have more time, folks, to go over stuff that you send me. I have so much to say about some of the things that have been sent to me. Uh, Please don't lose hope with me yet. I will get there. Um, I want to say a few things about. We covered Evergreen pretty extensively here, and I just want to say that I had a conversation with Kirsten W. And she, mentioned, and I also heard on Scott's show their intel about the Navy SEALs going on to not just the Evergreen, the Ever Given ship owned by Evergreen, but excuse me, but also Michelle. I'm taking it to bed. It's pretty funny when I opened it. I opened it with my love and my daughter right there, and I just started pretending like, okay, where should we put it? Should we put it here, like as you walk inside the door? And so I was playing that game, like like I'm going to put my portrait right up, where everybody can see it. Not that everyone that comes in the studio is going to see it in a prominent place, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, it was kind of fun. So at any rate, I wanted to share that they are coming out with intel about children and people being found on the Ever Given, that Navy SEALs are on there, that there was supposedly a nuke on the Ever Given that was to explode should it be boarded by these types of people. Their intel tells them also that nuke was disabled from detonating by Space Force Command out of I believe he said Wright-Patterson in Colorado, or where did he say it was? But it's actually Wright-Patterson. Excuse me, is in Ohio, but that it was disabled from Space Force by Space Force, using the satellites and so forth. So this is intel that I've honestly only seen on one source called Before It's News. Okay, Before It's News, and so I can't verify any of this other intel. I will tell you this, that I believe that if that hasn't already happened, that it is happening. Okay? I believe that the White Hats knew that there were people on this ship being trafficked, and I believe that's why they ran it aground, so that it would bring attention and focus and their ability to pull it off to the side and unload it or access it the way they wanted to. Okay. And so definitely, I think these types of operations are taking place, whether or not this particular operation took place in the Suez Canal or in at Bitter Lake once it was pulled over to allow the traffic to go through. There's just a lot of oddities, like the what I showed you last week, which was the the basically made the shape of a penis before going up into the canal, and maybe even an ass in front of the penis, and how and then it was run aground, and how that was taken over by satellite, um, much like maybe the nuke was was disabled. But this is speculation as far as I'm concerned, but it's also it's excuse me, very hopeful to me because I think these types of operations are taking place because I do believe, with the exception of not having a mind control victim being activated for a mass shooting, that the white hats are in control for the most part of many, many things that we may not think they are. Okay. So I just wanted to share that intel, not my intel. Both Scott and Kirsten had intel from separate sources, as per Kirsten, and and so and by the way, I'm going to be on Kirsten's show Wednesday, um, and Wednesday morning. So I will be on Wednesday morning at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time on her YouTube and Facebook. I would ask you to go to, well, you can go to either and then share it out as much as possible. It'll just be her and I. It'll be a short show. We may cover some things differently. We may go from YouTube and talk about some things and then go to Facebook and talk about things a little bit more. Although Facebook is getting in our face. Okay, so let me see if I've got a new statement. If that's not the case, here it is. Okay. Let me see. No, that's not it. But let me go to this was a statement. Let me go to this first. Okay, the first one was a couple of days ago. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is it. Okay, April 4th. Thank you. Christy Kilburn, thank you. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. Here we go. Let me take you with me. Happy Easter to all. This was yesterday, including the radical left crazies who rigged our presidential election and want to destroy our country. Take the capital letters, okay, and put it into gematria, okay, and you come up with 1698. All right, let me go to gematria and pull that up. And let me see, where do I have that? That was pretty huge the other day when we dropped that stuff on Friday, guys. If you haven't seen Friday's show, wow, please check it out. Okay, so don't know where I pulled up G matrix, but let me pull up that and get back to that and put in, what was it, 1698, I think. And that way I can put in the numbers without putting in the without putting in the I'll be out of here soon. 1698. Okay, it looks like English. Okay, let's go to, no, it's Jewish gematria. Okay, Agenda 21. Society of Jesus, this was on Easter. President Trump, EA, fantastic stock market. Trump broadcast jobs coming back. How dare you? The encrypted McKin, inhabitants of the universe, all the colors of the rainbow, knowledge of the truth, what to do about cancer. May 20th. May 20th. What's going to happen May 20th? Okay. And let me take you down a little bit further to the English gematria. Don't know what that. Veteran of the Psychic Wars, execute Operation Justice, public service announcement, right? That's the EBS. Nothing is hidden is McKin. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Read the McKin's timeline cache, the origin of Rh negative blood. Yellowstone eruption. That's a scary thought. That would take out most of the western U.S., folks. Crystalline structure. We've talked about going from carbon to crystalline beings. Let's see. Okay. So this is a couple. Now I want to take you to this decode that is the only way is military. I am going to uncover all of it. This will blow your mind. Okay. And then crazies, it looks like there was a crazies search, okay, in the Q alerts, okay. Let me pull that up. Look how big the Antifa. Remember, guys, this is all Antifa I'm showing you right here. That was 17. Do you think Antifa is a huge player in this whole thing? Absolutely. And not just, I don't want you to think that Antifa is a huge player just because they were burning down cities, but because they are the foot soldiers for this radical left agenda. And they are doing so much damage and have created, if you will, the woke culture. Okay. Crazies. Okay. Salon, the CIA partly to thank for the crazies conspiracy theory when they're talking about this 17 anon that we're all a part of, right? And so they've called us all crazies. So, folks, they are criticizing President Trump, I'm sure, for mentioning, these crazies, radical left-wing crazies. Meanwhile, the left is calling us, anybody that is following and researching the QAnon phenomenon, which is not QAnon, it's Q, and then the Anons who do the work, okay? And so, let me finish showing you that particular one. And this is all this for Baseless Conspiracy. Enjoy the show. And these are all samples of mainstream trying to take out 17. Something big is about to drop. Okay? No greater threat to the American people than the fake news media. Okay? Compare, contrast, Antifa. See, we were just here with the Antifa. Study Nazism, controlled MSM. Okay. Who is financing them? Dark to light, good wins. Okay. Now, the 10 days of darkness that was asked of me earlier, that we are expecting the 10 days of darkness when we see the EBS, which, by the way, is not there. Where is it? It is here. When it mentions what was one of the words I came up with gematria? The public address announcement system or whatever. I can't remember what it was. But when we were there, let's see. It was up here. And by the way, the list of these, the reason the list of these is the way they are is because it's how much they've been searched. So the more something has been searched, the higher up it is. Okay. Um, so let me take you to the back to this decode. Okay, and look for the U.S. Navy. This is fantastic. Thank you, Christy Kilburn. My crew and ship were proud to show the flag abroad while executing myriad missions and exercises during our maiden deployment. This is from the U.S. Navy. We've been seeing a lot of military drops, a lot of military coming up on 2 hours. So I'm going to finish this in the next 10 minutes. My apologies for going too late. But 1700, which is the military time of 5 p.m., okay, is 1700 drop. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same objective evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. This was from July 25th, 2018, and our military is taking us back there today. 11-3. So look at this boat is 113. 11-3 is one of the markers. Think about it logically. The only way is the military fully controlled, save and spread once 11-3 verifies as first marker, biggest advance drop on this board. Proof to begin 11-3. We all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight. The flow of information is vital. God bless. This is awesome. Okay. And, somebody was asking about the 10 days of darkness. We are going to see markers like this. Has there been disinformation in this process? Yes, absolutely. Don't forget, disinformation. 17 has said disinformation is critical. Okay. Crucial to this because they have to throw them off. And by the way, as I mentioned many times here, is that every Friday that shows up and we think maybe this is it, the cabal is also thinking maybe this is it, maybe this is the last time I get to spend a weekend with my daughter, the last time with my son, the last time with my brother or my friend, or the last time I ever golf. This is what the cabal, the deep state elitists go through every weekend that they see things like this pop up. And by the way, okay, they are also, excuse me, so they are also making decisions and moves based on what they're reading and learning that is exposing them. This is Scavino. Happy Easter, New York City, 1956. Let me take you back there with me. 3 crosses in the Manhattan skyline. Okay. When does a bird sing? Watch New York City. News unlocks 5-5. Loud and clear? Question mark. Okay. When does a bird sing? Watch NYC. Okay. Also, when does a bird sing in the spring? Okay. 1956. So this was New York City, 1956. They could have picked any picture. They picked this one. It's always been out in the open. You just have to look. You must stay together. Together you are strong. Symbolism equals end. 17 is often said, symbolism will be their downfall. I just showed you the symbolism of the Muslim Noah, flood, April showers, watch the water. This is going to be biblical. Noah, on Good Friday, murdered one single male adult as per the satanic cabal order. Activate Noah to murder at the threshold, at the altar of Moloch, which is the outline of the Capitol grounds, is the owl. The same owl that you see at the Bohemian Grove that they sacrifice humans to. Friday was a sacrifice. Okay? Who are the puppet masters? By the way, this is also 3 pluses, right? We've seen 3 pluses. Okay? Who are the puppet masters? House of Sod, 3. Okay? Rothschilds, 6 plus plus, 2 trillion. Soros, 6 plus, 1 trillion. Okay? This adds up to 666. Yeah? I just want to make sure you guys are on the same page with me here. Yes, I think you are. Yes. Okay. Let me bring it up here. There you go. Sorry. All right. Who are the puppet masters? So the 3 pluses, right? Strings cut, plus, plus, plus. Puppets, plus, plus, plus. In shadows, each side of the triangle controls a certain subsect of power brokers, right? Power brokers are also labeled as the puppet's servants. Nothing is random. Everything has meaning, plus, plus, plus. Okay? Also, other sides falling, plus, plus, plus. Okay? The Clinton Foundation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 pluses plus. Hillary Clinton and Foundation, crime against children, plus, plus, plus. Do you think we are being sent messages from these people that are absolutely involved in the greatest information drop in human history? I think so. Okay, here's Scavino at 6:22 p.m. on Saturday evening. Goes to military time, 1822, as we often do, especially in terms of when we follow a military drop or when we follow a drop that is directing us towards a military operation. And we just saw military is the only way, Gematria, based on Trump's comment, okay? 1822, psychological projection, define conspiracy. And after this one, guys, I'll call it, okay? Let me just take a minute here. Yeah, just had to take some deep breaths and all is well. So, um, I am on this Scavino. Christy Kilburn, this is a great breakdown. Just makes my life so much easier than to go through these in person. And there were some that I did not plan on going over that I'm now doing. Thank you. Okay, this is the defined conspiracy, right? And this gets into the fake news and the false narrative. Um, POTUS colluded with Russia, puppet to Putin, irreparable harm, collapse U.S. economy, stock market, war with North Korea, Iran, etc. He will destroy the world. This is the fear and scare push, okay? And this is the fake news media, which now, as you see, the Democrats are actually getting us into problems with these areas, right? Because they are war hawks, because they are pawns of the military-industrial complex. They want you divided by race, religion, culture, class, political affiliation. Divided you are weak, together you are strong. You, the people, have the power. Um, and this movement challenges their forced narrative. That's why they're trying to discredit the QAnon movement. Okay. Um, so you guys can check this out further. This is 1822 on the Q drops. Okay. The resignations of the CEOs, Congress, senators, FBI, DOJ, Watergate times 1,000. Attacks will only intensify. Logical thinking, ask yourself a simple question. Why? Why are they going so hard after all this? Okay. Scavino, what a can of Coca-Cola really does to your body. Infographic reveals the effects of the fizzy drink has in just an hour, from a 20-minute blood sugar spike to the crash. This is at 5:07 p.m. Okay. This is taking us to 5:07 17 drop. From an anon, thank you for the confirmation so that we may move forward with established comms. Remember, 17 said learn our comms. A boat, a military boat cruising along with 11.3 is a military comm, is a 17 comm. Graphic form. For each correlation, a must. This will be the authorization tool you use when all of this becomes public to provide friends, family, others. Do you think POTUS retweeted MAGAPill for no reason? We chose this board for a very specific reason. We believe in you. Graphic form for each correlation, a must. Okay, this is a graphic. Okay, and this is something we're going to be able to provide friends and family about. Really, Coca-Cola's having a problem with what's going on in with the election laws for ID, demanding ID, voter ID in Georgia. Coca-Cola, being in Atlanta, has a problem with that, and yet they're poisoning humanity? Really? Here's the thing, Coca-Cola. Get off your goddamn high horse, okay? Because you are damning God by damning God's people by poisoning them with your high fructose corn syrup, your food coloring, your aborted fetal tissue being used in flavoring, to rotting your teeth with the carbonation and the sheer acidic nature of this in the body. Folks, this is, this stuff is no good. Okay? And they're going to get up on their high horse and criticize the legislature. Come on. They don't give a rat's ass about humanity. Okay? This is from the official CVN 71. When you are in the middle of a storm cloud, it's hard to think outside of it, but the only way out of the storm is to ride through it. And Christy, will you please share with me what the official CVN 71 does? I know there was by the way, a connection with the SR 71, okay, which has been retired, and Kirsten W. believes, based on some intel that she received, that the SR 71 being retired was a comm about the CIA being retired and no longer being active in Southern California. So very interesting there. So to ride through the storm and get out to the other side, crossfire hurricane, crossfire typhoon, crosswind. This jumps us to a 17 drop, by the way. Class 1 to 99, unreleased, unredacted. You didn't think the statement by POTUS regarding calm before the storm was just random, did you? Transparency brings accountability. Okay? Think about it logically. The only way is the military fully controlled save and spread once 11.3 verifies this first marker. What are we supposed to save and spread? This information. Okay? Proof to begin 11.3. We all sincerely appreciate the work you do. Keep up the good fight. What storm, Mr. President? You'll see. POTUS. Okay? Now I've got some Easter comms here from President Trump, okay, with his grandchildren, okay, and here's with daughter, son, and daughter-in-law, grandchild. President Trump, U.S. Navy, Dan, CVN 71 comms. President Trump's statement and decode. The only way is the military. Something big is about to drop. U.S. Navy timestamp 5:17 Mountain Time. Q17 read 1:13 on ship. 11:3 the only way is the military. Dan, Facebook. Happy Easter. New York City image with the 3 crosses. We went over that. And this, I'm getting cut off here. Okay, Christy, I'm getting off. Thank you. All right, I gotta close this, folks. But you saw it all, okay? CVN 71 tweet reference in a storm, 113 on jacket, 11.3. The only way is the military. I just missed that one. Also, by the way, the CVN 71 think mirror. That's 17. Also think mirror with the SR 71, the fastest airplane that we supposedly know about anyway. And here's the man's jacket in this picture down here. And look, 113 or 11.3. I missed that one. Okay. So there you have it, folks. What does this tell David Snedeker? Well, what this tells us is that they are still communicating with us, and they're still trying to tell us the Patriots are in control. Keep the faith. Things are happening, even though you may not see it. We're hearing of some big things happening, and so we'll keep it up. I will jump off now so we can get back on tomorrow. Quick prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us all together tonight. Thank you for the gift of this beautiful audience, and thank you for the awareness and the wherewithal to seek truth no matter where it may lay. And thank you for President Trump and his family and his team. Thank you for Q Team and all the Anons, autists, digital warriors, and the Snedheads. And Lord, thank you for your resurrection, and thank you for your lessons on how humans can interact with each other and so very differently. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you, God, for this creation which we are engaged in and enjoying. And please bless all. Please watch over me and my health and my family and all of the Snedheads that are having a difficult time right now. And I ask you this, thy will be done. In your name we pray, dear Lord. Amen. Thank you all. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. I ask you to please share this out and combat the censorship that we're receiving across all platforms. God bless you. I love you. Good night.